Greetings from Duncan, Oklahoma. I am just getting back into town. I just took the truck out for a little run, and I wanted to do a video just to get everybody caught up on what's going on, because we've had some changes, and so I want to get everybody up to date on that. And I want to assure you that I'm not going to quit making videos, because this news does affect my traveling, but I'm not going to quit going out and making videos, because I can still do that anytime, on my own time. So basically, I'm not going to make you sit around until the end of the video to get the big news, because I think it sucks when people do that to other people. So I'm just going to tell you, I retired. I'm no longer hauling trailers, and this was effective a week ago Monday. So what I've been doing all week is I've been trying to get my DOT number, what they call into what they call a voluntary revocation, which means basically that I'm retiring the number, making it inactive. Well, I don't remember having this trouble the first time I tried to do this, but it could have been just as much of a pain in the butt. It's just been so long I don't remember. But I started the process on Monday last week, and it still has not been finalized with the FMCSA for whatever reason. I don't know if they're just short on help, or if they just have a backlog of people, or what. But I'm waiting for them to do the final update on my account. The guy's out metal detecting there. Don't see that very often. I'll tell you something about metal detecting in a minute. But they haven't got my account updated. Once they update it, what I'll do is I'll go in and shut down all of my commercial insurance and get all that refunded. So I'll actually get a big paycheck back to me of unused insurance premiums off of this truck and the company. So that's the good news. And I do take it as good news, because to be honest, I was talking about it last week, week before last, when I went to Odessa. The last video I put up, that was my last load. There just hasn't been any work, and it doesn't make sense for us to keep paying, these expensive operating costs when there's no work to support it. So there's nothing coming in from trucking, but there's still stuff going out. So it was time to just shut it down. And I'm ready for it anyway, because I really don't want to be gone from home all the time. It's one thing if I decide to go someplace and I'm gone for a week or two, whatever, to visit family, but I don't want to be having to leave, when Bill's having problems or whatever, and, having to put work ahead of his welfare. So, that's a big consideration, huge. And that, and the fact that we had basically no work for 2 months, that's never happened before. And I think the problem is the economy is just so bad that it's not even worth me messing with right at the moment, because it costs me more to sustain my insurance than I'm bringing in. So that's the big announcement. So I am officially retired from trucking, and I don't feel bad about it at all, because basically I've done everything that I can do with a truck this size. I've hauled every configuration of trailers that I can haul with it. I've hauled little trailers, I've hauled big trailers, I've hauled behemoth huge trailers, I've hauled tied together doubles, I've hauled short stacks, tall stacks, mega stacks. I've hauled stacks from anywhere from 2 trailers to 7 trailers high. I've done it all. There's nothing left for me to prove in this type of 1-ton commercial hauling. There's nothing left for me to do in the trailer hauling world that I haven't done successfully more than once. So I'm leaving it with no regrets, and with no feelings of nostalgia or looking back and thinking, oh, I wish I could have. There's none of that. I've already done it, Woulda, coulda, shoulda. I've already been there, done it. So I'm not having any sad thoughts or like I'm going to miss it, because I'm really not, So the big thing that I have to do now is, besides getting my DOT number officially shut down, which I'm working on, it's pending. Hopefully that'll go through Monday or Tuesday. Then I have to get my insurance canceled as soon as that's done and get the refunds going on that to where the money comes back to me. And then I need to put my my CDL into an unactive status. And I guess you can do that in Oklahoma. I'm not sure how yet, but I'll figure it out. So I'm not going to give it up, because I did that the last time I retired, and then I ended up having to go to great lengths to get it back, when I didn't realize that you can put it in an inactive status, and it's just considered, it's still a CDL, but you're just not running commercially, and you're not required to do the periodic random drug testing, and you're not required to do the annual medical card recertification. Now, which of both I've just done in the last month or so anyway, but this will keep me from having to do it again. In the event that I just choose never to make the CDL active again, I won't be bothered with this. I won't get dinged on my CDL for not doing these things. So that's going to be my next thing that I do. Now, you might wonder what I'm going to do with myself, with all this time. So I'll tell you. I'm going to do a couple of things. One of the things I'm going to do is still sell stuff on eBay, because it's easy money. We have a lot of fun going and sourcing the stuff to sell, and we're actually getting really a lot better at picking things that we can get some decent money out of. It's like last week we went and found some really nice flatware that'll make us, a lot more than our investment when we turn it around and sell it. So, we're getting good at finding stuff, and we don't require like a whole bunch of extra income anyway, because with the way things have happened, we've actually got a buffer in the bank. Dang it. I hate that thing.
New text message from 40632494048.
Every time I jump, that thing goes off. It's a political ad. I'm 100% sure. That's all I get anymore on my texts is political ads. So anyway, what was I saying when I was so rudely interrupted? Oh, I don't have to work as hard because we've got a buffer. We've been saving money, and things have worked out really well. So we can get by just fine by having a little bit of extra income rather than having a lot of extra income, which running this company required a lot of extra income, because I had to buy insurance, I had to buy, upkeep on the truck, fuel, oil, mechanical, all the blah, 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 all the expenses, plus, operating expenses, licenses, permits. It's just a never-ending sinkhole that you throw money into when you got a trucking company. So it's going to be fine. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dabble in eBay, which I don't expect that to be anything more than just a part-time deal anyway, because I don't want it to be. I'm not going to sit and work 40 hours a week, because I don't have to replace an entire income with it. I need to bring a little bit in every week. Not a problem. I can do that working, 1 or 2 days a week instead of working 4 or 5 or 6 days a week. So that's all good. And the other thing I'm doing, I think I might have mentioned this before. I don't know. I haven't sat down and watched my own videos for a while. But I did a thing where I went to my doctor and I said, Doc, is there something you can do to help me get this weight off that I've been trying to lose for the last 8 years with no success? And she said, we've got this new stuff, and if you're interested, I'll get you a prescription for it. Well, what it is, it's called semaglutide, and the brand name is Ozempic. I'm sure you've seen all the bad press and all the propaganda on it. Well, don't believe anything that you see on social media or anything you hear in the mass media on it. Talk to your doctor if you're interested in it, because as it turns out, this shit works. So I've been taking that since about the 1st of December. So January, February, so a couple months, and I've lost 15 pounds so far. You may not be able to tell, I don't know. I can, because I weigh myself, but also my midsection is not so disgustingly huge, which is really good, because that was grossing me out, to be perfectly blunt. So I'm extremely happy with it, and I plan on staying on it until I get down to my normal adult weight, which should be about 140 pounds. I mean, yes, I'm 6 feet tall, but I was pushing 200 pounds, which is way too heavy for my frame size. I don't have big bones, I'm fine boned, so 140 pounds is my maximum where I should be. So I'm going to get back to that and then just stay put. So, and this is the first hope I've had in many years that I can even lose the weight, so I'm ecstatic with that. Now, it's true that if you get the Ozempic brand or the Wegovy brand or whatever name brand, it can be very expensive, and it's not covered by insurance for weight loss, evidently. But my doctor is having it made up for me special at a compounding pharmacy, which those are pretty awesome places, because they can make you whatever medication you need at a fraction of the cost that it's sold for under a brand name. So something you can ask your doctor about. But it's costing me roughly around $200 a month. I was spending so much money on Weight Watchers, on supplements, on, any and everything you can think of. I've spent thousands of dollars in the last 8 years, I'm sure, probably tens of thousands of dollars, trying to lose weight one way or another. Everything related to losing weight is super expensive. To me, $200 a month for a few months as a temporary situation is not so bad. So I'm happy to pay it, and it's working. So, talk to your doctor. Don't believe the hype. Your doctor's probably got more insight into, the efficiency or the efficacy and the potential problems with it to give you an informed opinion over and above what you would read somebody complaining about it on Facebook because it gives people Ozempic face or whatever. That's all bullshit anyway. You lose weight. If you lose weight, you're taking fat out of your sack. My dad put it this way to me. So I was like, man, Dad, I'm all wrinkled, and my sister who's older than me isn't. And he says, well, your sack's not as full as hers. I was like, okay, yeah, I guess that's. At the time, she had a fuller sack. She's since lost all her excess weight and looks great. She just, naturally did. She kept telling me, you'll naturally do it. Well, it never did naturally, so now I'm doing this. But whatever it takes, I'm not going to die of an obesity-related condition if I can help it, And 50, 60 pounds overweight is way too fat for me. So, anyway. Enough said about that. It's working. I'm extremely happy. I'm going to stick with it because it works, I'm not going to say it's easy because it's not, but it's an extremely good tool if you follow the rules. And the main rule is you don't just sit and eat till you're full. You just don't do that, what I've had to do is I've had to adjust my eating pattern to eating a little bit once or twice a day, not eating a lot, not gorging by any means, and by eating as good a food as I can eat for, the protein and nutrient contents of it. So for snacks, muscle milk, I want to maintain my muscle but get rid of the fat, so I don't want to starve my muscles by not taking in enough protein. So you can't just live on like potato chips and Coca-Cola or whatever and expect this to work for you, because you're going to lose your muscle mass too. And I've seen people who have done this and who have lost their muscle mass, but I've seen people who've dieted just in the old-fashioned way too and lost their muscle mass. You've got to feed your muscle if you want to keep it, and you also have to get up and move. So I mean, there are certain lifestyle changes that you have to make for this to work for you. But according to my doctor, she's only had one patient where it didn't work for them. So, whether that was something they were not complying with the program or it was just didn't work for them, who knows? I don't know. I'm not going to judge. But that's a pretty good track record. She's only had one out of multiple patients that have used this, and it's been successful for everybody. So I would say if you're trying to lose weight and you haven't been able to, and you're kind of at your wit's end, it's worth talking to your doctor for. That's what I'm going to say. Talk to your doctor. So anyhow, the other thing is, we saw those guys metal detecting in a yard back there in Duncan. I'm going to start metal detecting again because I miss it. I have not really gone metal detecting. I've gone twice, I think, in the last year or two. But I haven't really metal detected since 2017, the year before we started working on the house up here, and I started not having time. And then, then I went back to work and all that, so I really didn't have any time to go do it. So that's another thing I'm going to start up again. That's where you get into the exercise. You got to find something to do that you enjoy, that you're willing to do, regularly to get your exercise. And as far as that goes, metal detecting is a really good physical kind of activity, especially for somebody who's old like me. I'm not going to go jog. And I'm probably not going to go walk 5 or 6 miles a day. I've been there, done that stuff in the past. And it didn't really work for me. I never lost any weight. When I started walking, I went through a phase where I walked probably 6 or 7 miles a day, every day. I walked over 500 miles in like 2 months or 3 months time or whatever. Wore out a pair of tennis shoes. What I got out of the deal, I didn't lose an ounce of weight, but I got shin splints, which they suck. You don't want shin splints. And I was trying a little bit of running just to prove I could still do it, because back in the day I'd been told not to try running because my back was trashed, and they said don't run. And so I can run. I really can. I can't run super fast, but I can run. But if I do, and I go out and do that as a physical activity, I'll end up, hurting myself basically, instead of doing something that's actually enjoyable and that actually gives me a decent workout. So for me, metal detecting is a great physical activity, because you're not just standing around with the metal detector. You're swinging the metal detector, which is not exactly lightweight to start with. So you're moving around, you're getting upper body movement, and then you're getting down on your knees and getting back up, and getting down on your knees and getting back up. So it's, and walking along. It's not like running a marathon, obviously, but it is kind of good overall, stretching and bending and good activity. And you're not really like, you're not as at risk of injuring yourself with it, because it's not like something that you're forcing yourself to do. It's kind of a natural thing, you know what I mean? So anyway, but I saw those guys metal detecting back there, and I thought, that's cool. I want to go metal detecting some more. I love to go metal detecting, and I found some really cool stuff doing it. And now, maybe I'll actually have the time to go do it. So, who knows? Anyway, I just want to get you caught up. You know, don't panic, because I'm not going to quit doing videos. I'm sure all y'all out there are panicking because I know that was funny. That was supposed to be funny. I'm going to keep doing videos. I'm going to get out and do at least one video a week. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to get rid of this truck. So I'm going to switch my cameras over to my regular Ford, to my 3/4 ton, and then I'll get out and do a lot more videos a lot more frequently, probably more. I don't know. I'll pick where to go and what to video. So that's my plan. So with that, I'm gonna call this video done. And say thank you for riding along. And you know, if you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you click the little bell thing, that'll tell you when I've got new video up. You know, if you're interested in that, please do that. And I will see y'all in the next video. So thanks for riding along.